Hello. In the last video, I showed you how to make a space switcher. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to make that automatic arrow aiming rig. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to take these two things and then add them into an existing rig. And that should help you a lot with getting the features you want on a rig that doesn't have what you need. But for this video, we're just going to make our arrow aimer just on the grid. So we're going to make two locators, and one is going to be called the bow, and one is going to be called the, uh, well, yeah, we'll call it bow aimer and arrow aimer. And then we'll make another locator, and this is going to be our hand, or well, our arrow holder. And then we'll take both of these, keep them in the same position. We'll move them out on the grid so that we can see them, make them nice and big. And then we'll take our other one, move it out, make it bigger so we can see it as well. And then I'm going to make some geometry so we can kind of see this a little easier. So I'm going to middle mouse click, drag. I believe you can also control. Oh no, it's not control. Yeah, it's middle mouse. Click drag underneath. Click drag them to be underneath our locators, just so we can see them for this demonstration. You won't be doing this on the actual rig. It just gives us something to look at while we work. And now we can just open our constraint menu, which is, you'll probably be on the modeling tab. So click on this drop down, go to rigging, constrain, rip this menu off by clicking on the double lines. Open the orient constraint option box and hit edit reset. We don't want to have maintain offset on for what we're doing today. And we're going to select arrow aimer as our parent, and then bow aimer as our child, and hit apply. And now we see we've created a orient constraint. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I told you the wrong thing. We're not doing orient constraints. We're doing aim constraints. The orient constraint comes later. So we'll reset that. I'm going to make I'm going to select bow aimer as the parent and then arrow aimer as the child. And I'm going to select arrow aimer as the parent and then bow aimer as the child and hit apply. And now what we've done is we've made a two locators that keep looking at each other no matter where they are in the world, up, down, left, right, front and back. You know, they just keep pointing at each other. And that's going to let us put one of these locators into the bow rig, and one of these into our right hand or left hand, whichever hand your sparrow is handedly. And we can move these 2 points around while keeping the arrow in constant contact with the bow and held in the hand. And yet the arrow will kind of point between these two locators. So in the service of visualizing that, I'm going to make a little arrow doodad for us. I'm going to move it to be back here. You don't have to do that. This is just for visualizing. So we'll call that the arrow. So we'll do this like we would do it in a rig. We'll make a little controller for it to simulate the hand, which is we're going to be putting all of our right side stuff underneath, or we're going to be putting all of our arrow side stuff underneath the hand joint so that it works in IK and FK. And then we can select these values. Oh, but we don't want to have that selected. No, I've been doing it wrong. I want to have my NURB circle. I'm going to group this twice, actually. It's just making the offset group. I think I made it in the last video. And we're going to take that offset or we're going to take the full stack and we're going to add it underneath arrow aimer. And then we can select the translates here and just zero them out, and it'll snap over to be matching the orientation of our locator, which is going to help us prevent any odd jumps when we're toggling through the different settings in the rig that we're building. So I'm going to parent arrow aimer underneath this, and then I'm also going to parent arrow hold to be underneath it as well. But the arrow it got flipped around, so I'm going to go ahead and type 0 into that again. That's so odd that it jumped over there. Oh, I really messed this one up. I'm going to make a new arrow model. There we go. We'll just set it to be there. Cool. So now we have this controller looking at that we can use to move the back of the arrow around. And we've got the point on the bow that the arrow is going to be passing through. And now all we have to do to get the arrow following that is create a parent constraint, selecting arrow hold as our parent and our arrow geometry as our child. In the actual rig, you would select the group that the arrow control is underneath, which I'll show you in the next video, so don't worry about it. We'll just parent that. And now our arrow follows this controller, but it doesn't follow the orientation of the aiming system that we made. In order to fix that, we're going to grab our arrow aimer as the parent and our arrow hold as the child, and now we make the orient constraint. We hit apply. It looks like it flipped for some reason, so we're just going to go under arrow hold orient constraint and add a simple 180 degree offset to correct its motion. And now we see that our arrow is being aimed like we want it to be, and we can pass it through the front of the tip, or we can pass it through the front point. So like if she's just kind of holding it on the string but she's not really drawing the string, then of course more of the arrow is going to be in front of the bow than behind it, and vice versa. And yeah, so that is the principle for the arrow aiming rig. I hope that wasn't too confusing.